Yeah, we back. Thank you for tuning in to the channel. You saw the thumbnail. I'm going right in. This video is dedicated to fragrances that when I initially bought them, I liked them, but I wind up loving them later. All right, at some point in time, this is going to happen to you on your fragrance journey, right? You're going to lose a bottle. You're going to forget about a bottle, something that you blind bought, you bought in store, you misplaced it. You're going to rediscover it, right? And it's not necessarily that it's like a hidden gem, at least for me. Sometimes some of these fragrances just kind of get lost in the sauce, everyday life, a lot of things that I actually have going on. But when you do refine or reconnect with this fragrance, and you wind up liking it more than you originally thought, oh man, it's a beautiful feeling. So that's what I want to talk about today because I know that this happens to others, and I felt like I just wanted to discuss it. The first fragrance I thought about with the idea of this video had to be this one. I'm talking about Tom Ford's Black Orchid. Okay, still my original bottle of this, right? Truffle, blackcurrant, jasmine, gardenia, lotus, chocolate, patchouli, and incense, okay? So knowing what I know now, as far as, looking up the note breakdown and all that type of stuff, anytime I would see any of those notes in combination at this point in time with the fragrance, I would reach for it. At the time when I smelt it, shout out to my boy Santos for putting me onto this back around maybe 2016, 2017. I didn't necessarily know what I was smelling, but I liked it. So then maybe about 6 or 7 months later, I was in a department store. I saw it. I referenced the smell. Didn't really remember exactly what I had smelled. But I was like, let me just get a bottle on GP. I wind up buying a bottle. And let me tell you, this is one that has just grown on me every year since I've actually had it. And I can't wait to rock this fragrance, especially in the fall and the winter. I will say that this fragrance, though, is a little bit polarizing. When I think about, pure compliment pullers, this is not one of them, okay? And I don't want to say that you need a mature nose for that, but starting off with this fragrance, if you're starting your fragrance journey, I don't know if this one will be for you, so I would definitely sample it, but the fragrance in my mind is a beautiful fragrance, okay? I will always keep a bottle of this fragrance. This is definitely on some, 10 for life for me, but this is one that, like I said, I can't wait to wear every year. It performs for me exactly how I want it to. It's not a monster. It is a little bit more of, not necessarily a close encounter, but just maybe a little bit more than that per se. But this one right here is one that I'm so glad I found it. And every time I smell it, I reconnect with this fragrance. And I'm like, oh yeah, man, I love it more and more. Luxurious, sensual, dark, mysterious. If you haven't had the opportunity to smell this, and I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't smelled the parfum as of yet, okay? At some point in time, I'll probably get to it. But if you haven't smelled this and you think you might be ready, because I do feel like it's a more mature fragrance, okay? Get your nose on Tom Ford Black Orchid. Right into the next one, okay? Liked it when I first got it, but loved it over time. I'm talking about YSL's L'Homme ULTIME or ULTIME, okay? Don't know if you can see that. I've had this for a while. 2016 edition. Letters are kind of rubbed off here. Shout out to my barber at the time, man. E.T. the Barber, Southwest Houston. Shout out to you, sir. He's the one that actually put me onto this fragrance. My man was cutting me up, and I had to ask him, sir, what is that? And I went straight to the store, and I actually bought a bottle of this. But this one I didn't wear all the time. I was pretty much, wearing this maybe once every couple months. But every time I would put this on, not only would I get the compliments, I just felt more and more invigorating. Like I had a little level of confidence wearing this fragrance. It was something about this that was just uplifting. Can't believe they discontinued this one, man. Wow. Light, refreshing, sexy. This is nowhere close to being redundant in the L'Homme line, okay? Starts off actually very fruity and citrusy, and you get that ginger up top. But then it dries down into something that's a little powdery and florally, right? But this is actually perfect for right now. It's perfect for the summer. I feel like this is actually good for the office as well too. But I'm actually going to say this is really a year-round fragrance. I feel like if you smelt this or you get your nose on it, you can see how this could actually be a year-round fragrance. Okay, so with the notes on this one, you got some ginger, grapefruit, cardamom, and bergamot up top, rose, sage, geranium, and apple in the middle, and in the base, you got some cedar, vetiver, cashmere wood. This fragrance definitely lasts for about 8 hours, and I'm going to tell you right now, to me, this one was a compliment monster. I'm going to say that as far as me when I actually wore this. It projects, I feel like, for maybe about 2 to 3 hours off of skin, but it's still going to be there, and you're going to have an amazing scent trail in this fragrance. Like I said, it is discontinued. You can still find it. Don't overpay for it, but you know, if you're one of the little crazy trade groups, or you catch somebody slipping, or it does come back up on one of these discounters and you're interested, check this one out, man. Again, not redundant, definitely a standout in the YSL L'Homme line. Another one that caught me by surprise from the replica line, you already know, Maison Margiela, talking about Jazz Club. Okay? This one right here, now, I had this in a sample set already. The first one I had out of the line was By the Fireplace. My sister wound up getting me a sample of this around Christmas, and then I wound up buying a full bottle of that. Then I bought the sample pack, and actually I liked Flying out of that sample pack, which I think is discontinued now too. Out of the samples, more than I liked Jazz Club. But I did like Jazz Club, but I didn't actually love it. But I wound up being out. It was a group function, and there literally was a girl there that smelled amazing to me. And I asked her, and she was actually wearing Jazz Club. And I was like, man, I got this fragrance at the house in a sample pack, and let me go back to it. So I went back to it, rocked it again, still only kind of liked it. I don't know if it was just on her, it smelled a little bit different, but I just jumped out the window. I wound up buying a bottle, and I've had this now for at least like 2 years, something like that. But I'm going to tell you right now, this one has grown on me because something about it, I think it's the booziness of this fragrance. I am a big whiskey guy. I think I just started to fall in love with this fragrance more and more and more. Rich, smoky, boozy tobacco. I mean, this is like a slow burn, like a mild seduction, man. This is sexy. I really like this fragrance, especially come fall and winter. Which, by the way, this fall and winter is it's gonna go crazy with the fragrances. I mean, the collection is crazy. There's so much stuff I've actually bought over this past 6 months in general that I just haven't been able to wear due to the weather. But this was one I cannot wait to wear. You definitely are getting maybe about 2 hours of projection from this one, and it's gonna last about 5 to 6 hours. But this is one of those fragrances that I feel like not everybody is actually going to love. I'm not going to say it's polarizing, but not everyone is actually going to love this fragrance. So I would say to sample this one as well. That sample pack is actually great from Margiela as well, to be 100% honest with you. That's actually how I got on. So if you're interested in something that, you know, is a little bit boozy and a little smoky, if you haven't gone that direction yet, I feel like this is a great place to start as far as Maison Margiela's Jazz Club. And with the notes on this, man, you got some pink pepper, neroli, and lemon up top, rum, clary, sage in the middle, tobacco leaf, vanilla, and styrax in the base. Again, man, this is just one that, it's sophisticated, okay? It's mature, it's masculine. Gonna go back to that whole boozy, smoky thing. If you're okay with that, check this one out. This is another one when I immediately had the thought of this video that this is one of the first ones that kind of popped up in my mind. And I'm talking about Bottega Veneta Pour Homme. Let me be sure that I get that in there for y'all, okay? So let me just go over the notes first, okay? So you got a lot of pine, juniper, bergamot up top, fir, clary sage in the middle, leather, and patchouli. So let me tell you about how I even came up on this. So this was definitely like 2013, 2012. I was actually in the mall with this girl. She actually had smelled and bought Alien for the first time by Thierry Mugler, which I actually liked that fragrance at the time too. But I smelled this, I appreciated it, and I bought it. But to be honest with you, I shelved it. I shelved it for like 3 years because I felt like the fragrance was like more mature than me. So as I've actually stated on this channel a few times, not a huge fan of leather. Never actually have been a huge fan of leather. And that's the first thing I smelled in this fragrance besides all the coniferous stuff. But I still appreciated the fragrance, but this is when I was living in Chicago. I'm from the Midwest, and initially I wound up going home for Christmas. And you know, we talking overcoat season in the winter. You know, I got my camel overcoat with the scarf and everything, and I must have wore it during the holidays, man. And woke up one morning and smelled on the scarf. I'm like, yo, this is actually it right now. So from that point on, I wind up rocking it. And this is actually my second bottle of this fragrance at this time. But then I wind up moving down here to Texas. I think I talked about this in my office fragrance list, which I feel like it's great for that. But it's just so hot down here. I haven't had a chance to wear it as much. We do get some cooler days, so I can't wait again until the winter to break this one out. But this is for a mature, a refined gentleman, okay? Maybe somebody that kind of likes the outdoors potentially, but this is classy. This is almost like the definition of classy. It's very masculine. It's probably one of the most masculine fragrances I actually have in my collection. And, you know, it actually reminds me a little bit of Wealth or something like that. To be honest with you, it just comes off very, very refined. I am in love with this fragrance. This is definitely one, and I'm saying it here now, that I would actually have this fragrance forever. This is one that if I could just keep this in my collection, I always will. I know that they have an extreme, but because I'm not huge on, you know, the coniferous stuff and the leather and all of that, I probably don't want any of that amped up. But for where this is right now, I'm going to hold on to it. Bottega Veneta Pour Homme. Liked it. All right, last on this list is a recent addition. I'm talking about for me in 2023. But this has actually been out for a minute. Okay, I'm talking about Roberto Cavalli's Uomo. All right, so let me just get right into the notes, okay? Black, violet, saffron up top. In the mid, we got some honey and lavender, base, tonka bean, cedar, and patchouli. So I'm a tonka bean fanatic. After kind of being on this YouTube journey now, I've actually noticed that a lot of fragrances that I had, which I wasn't even really familiar with the notes, they just smell good to me. A lot of them tend to have tonka bean in it. This one included, but this is also a skin scent to me, okay? This is not a projection monster. And again, and I'm going to say since I've been on YouTube, my fragrance collection has evolved a little bit to appreciate some of these skin scents. Everything doesn't actually have to be a projection monster. And this particular fragrance is so sensual and dark and elegant and just downright sneaky. I love this as a close encounter, hands down, okay? I liked it when I got it because it was different. And I recognized it wound up being that violet note that I just hadn't really encountered in any other fragrances in my collection. But this one right here, every other time I've actually worn this, and I've only had this for probably less than 90 days, which is again, for a close encounter, I fall in love with it more and more and more. All right, so I already said it was a skin scent. So you're only getting a little bit of decent projection on this one, right? Maybe about an hour, maybe two, if that. But honestly, it will be on your skin for about 5 to 6 hours. You can reapply, because the thing about this one is that for the price of this fragrance, I'm not going to say it's niche, but it's definitely underrated for its functionality and purpose. This fragrance right here almost cannot be beat for the price that you're getting this for, okay? Roberto Cavalli Uomo. If you want a nice close encounter, dark, sexy skin scent, okay, This right here should definitely be on your radar because you can't beat it for the price. The violet is the star here in this fragrance, right? It's going to dry down. It's going to mix in with some of that tonka bean and patchouli, and it's something a little bit powdery and very, very sexy. I feel like if you're talking about going outside, this is definitely more of a fall or a winter fragrance. But again, it's hot where I'm at, and I've been telling you I've been wearing it, but I've been wearing it in the house on the close encounter side of the game. So I don't think this is really good for the high heat, maybe a cooler spring night or something like that. But again, I do feel like it's really more fall and winter. But again, close encounter, I'm inside getting down to business. This right here, man, listen. Yeah, you already know. So that's 5 fragrances to me that I initially liked when I bought them, but I wind up loving them, and I still love them currently. You tell me, get in the comment section, let me know what you actually liked at one point in time when you bought it or came across it, but you wind up loving. And if you got any benefit from any of this information today, please do like, comment, and subscribe, and you already know. I'm going to see you on the next video.